Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for joining me here on your mats today for this Yin-yasa style class. So just as it sounds, we're going to be balancing the Vinyasa style yoga with Yin style yoga. So beginning our practice with a Vinyasa flow, creating some heat and energy in the body, and then ending our practice in some Yin poses, allowing the body to rest back down and calm back into your breath. If you enjoy this style of class, it is one of the live Zoom classes that I offer over on my website. So if you enjoy this style of class and want a full 60-minute studio style class, you can head over to my website, alaunaroby.com, and check out the schedule. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started in our Shavasana or corpse pose today, lying down on your backs and extending the legs out long and simply resting the hands by your sides. So taking a moment of stillness here to begin our practice, maybe closing down your eyes and just beginning to draw your awareness in to your body, to your mind, to your breath. Really just trying to keep your mind present for today's practice, focusing on keeping your mind on your mat. Beginning to deepen your connection with your breath. Let's take 3 grounding breaths together. In through the nose, hold at the top, then exhale, slowly sigh all of it back out through the mouth. So when you're ready, inhale all the way full. Hold at the top. And exhale, purse the lips together and try and squeeze the air out of a tiny hole between your lips. Squeezing until you can't anymore. And inhale, fill the belly once more, as full as it can go. Then holding at the top. Maybe taking a little sip in. Then exhale again, squeeze all of that air right back out through the little hole between your pursed lips. And one more deep breath like that. Inhale, fill the belly. Hold at the top. And exhale, slowly press all of that air right back out. Now that you've become aware of your breath, you can gently fall back into a natural pattern of breathing, but focus on keeping the depth of the breath. Really using the breath to push us through our vinyasa portion of the class so that we can arrive at our restful ending in the yin poses. So as you're ready, just go ahead and hug the knees in towards the chest slowly, maybe just beginning to rock from side to side on the back, just tuning into the sensations in the lower back and the hips today. And then as you're ready, go ahead and extend the legs so that the shins are parallel to the mat, knees are bent at about a 90-degree angle, really pressing that lower spine down into your mat, and using these first few breaths of our movement practice to warm up the core, our center of balance. So keeping the legs lifted and bent just as they are, slowly exhale, lower the right leg down. Inhale, lift it back up. Exhale, slow and controlled, lower the left leg down. Inhale, lift back up. Really engaging through the lower abdominals here. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. So just moving slowly with your breath here. This is really the only core work we're going to do throughout class, so I encourage you to not give up. You got this. Do one more cycle on each side. And as you're ready, go ahead and rest both soles of feet down on the mat and walk the heels in so that they are just behind your hips, and you can just barely touch the heels with your fingertips, making sure that the feet are hip-width distance apart. Then as you're ready, press down through the soles of the feet, grab onto the outer edges of your mat, tuck your shoulders underneath you as you lift the hips up into the air into your bridge pose. So really using the glutes to push you up and the inner thighs to pull you up, trying to keep those knees in hip-width distance apart, not allowing them to split open or knock in. Just trying to find some strength and stability here. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release the hips back down to your mat. Hug the knees back into your chest. This time placing the hands on the backs of your thighs. Begin to slowly rock forwards and back, coming up into a seat. Then cross at your ankles and roll over into all fours, aligning the wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Beginning to move through the spine a little bit here, taking a few cats and cows. So inhale, draw the chest forward, tailbone curls up, cow pose. Exhale, begin to round through the spine, pulling the chin to chest, tailbone pulls down between the knees, cat pose. Inhale, draw the chest forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together on your back for cow pose. Then exhale to round, cat pose, pressing the shoulder blades apart. So moving through a few more cycles of breath, inhale forward, cow pose, and exhale back, cat pose. Adding any side to side or forward to back movements that might feel good here. Just really tuning into where you might be holding some tension in the spine today and trying to let it go. On your next inhale, go ahead and find a neutral spine. Double check that your wrists are still under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. Then on your next inhale, keeping the elbows hugged in, just shift your weight forward so that the shoulders go just slightly past the wrists. And again, keeping the elbows in, begin to bend into the elbows, lowering yourself down onto your stomach. Untucking the toes if they were tucked, placing the hands underneath your shoulders, taking 3 baby cobras. So pressing down through the tops of the feet and your hip bones. On your inhale, slowly peel the hands, chest, and chin up off of your mat. Exhale to lower back down. Inhale to lift up, baby cobra, squeezing through the back muscles. And exhale, release. Taking 1 more, inhale to lift. And exhale, back down. This time press down through the hands. On an inhale, lift up into your all fours. Then exhale, lift the hips up and back into your first downward facing dog of class. Taking some time here to pedal out through the feet, noticing any sensations in the backs of the legs. And as you're ready, come back through center. And inhale, reach that right leg up and back, bending into the right knee, drawing the right heel down towards the glutes as you shoot the right knee up towards the ceiling. Finding some openness in the hips here. As you exhale, draw that right knee in towards the nose. Crunch it in, and step that right foot in between the hands. From here, lower the left heel down to your mat so that the outer edge of the left foot is parallel to the back of your mat. And on an inhale, cartwheel the arms up, finding your warrior 2 pose. So arms reaching out at your sides, parallel, fingertips engaged. Finding some strength and stability here. Then on your next inhale, reverse your warrior. So the right arm reaches up and overhead, left hand can tuck back behind you, reaching away from the bent knee. Then inhale, come back to warrior 2. And exhale, lower that right forearm down to the right thigh, and reach the left hand high. So stacking the shoulders on top of one another, keeping the chest open. Then on an exhale, lower the left hand down beside the right foot. Lift the left heel up off of your mat, like you're going into high lunge instead of warrior 2. And then reach that right hand up. So you're moving into your easy twist, opening the chest towards the right. Right knee is still stacked on top of the right ankle. And you can slowly lower the back left knee down to your mat and untuck your toes, finding your low, easy twist. And then if this is plenty of a stretch for you, you can hang out here. Or if you want to add a little bit of a quad stretch, you can go ahead and bend into that left knee that's behind you, drawing the left heel in towards the glute as much as you can and seeing if you can grab onto that left foot with your right hand. Just gently pulling the foot towards your glute, and if this causes any type of pinching pain, go ahead and release the foot and just take the easy twist in the low lunge. Taking 2 more deep breaths wherever you are. Then wherever you are, keep that left hand, left knee right where they are on your mat, and just bring that right hand to your right hip. Now, carefully stepping the right foot to the back of your mat, coming into a half side plank. So that left shoulder is stacked on top of the left wrist, left knee is on the ground, and the right leg is extended back behind you. Both hips are open towards the right. On an exhale, lower the right hand back down, right knee back down, coming back to your all fours and recentering. And you can either choose to lower to the ground on your knees like we did the first time through, or you can walk the feet back, lift the knees up off of your mat, coming into a full plank. Either way, inhale, shift the shoulders past the wrists, keeping the elbows in. Exhale, slow and controlled, lower down to your belly. Then from here, bring the hands underneath your shoulders, but this time walk the hands off of your mat, keeping them right outside your shoulders and keeping a bend in the elbows. Then pressing the fingertips down into the floor. Inhale, peel the chest up, uplifted facing cobra. Exhale, lower the chest back down. 2 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. 1 more. Then bring the hands back underneath your shoulders. Inhale, press yourself up into all fours. And exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Beginning to pedal out through the feet, and just noticing how the sides may differ in sensation now, before we move to do that sequence on the second side. So as you're ready, inhale, reach the left leg up and back, bending into the left knee, drawing that left heel down towards the glutes as much as is comfortable, and pointing the knee straight up towards the ceiling. Really opening through the hips here. And as you exhale, draw that left knee in towards the nose, crunching it in before stepping the left foot in between the hands. Then drop that right heel down to the mat, so the outside edge of the right foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Left knee stacks on top of the left ankle, keeping a bend. As you inhale, cartwheel the arms up, warrior 2. Finding your stability here. Connecting back with your breath. Then on your next inhale, reverse your warrior. Left arm comes up and overhead. And inhale, come back through center. And exhale, lower left forearm down to the left thigh, finding your extended side angle, reaching the right hand high, keeping the chest open. And exhale, lower the right hand down to the mat beside the left foot. Lift the right heel up off of the mat like you're going into a high lunge, but instead lift the left hand high, finding your easy twist. So both hips are facing one direction, down and forward, instead of both hips opening up to the right like in Warrior 2. And from here you can go ahead and drop the right knee down to the mat, keeping the left knee stacked on top of the left ankle, finding that easy twist in a low lunge this time. And again, either holding here or adding a bit of a quad stretch by bending into that right knee and reaching back with the left hand, seeing if you can grab a hold of that right foot. You may be able to do it on one side and not the other, and that's totally fine, totally normal, so don't judge yourself. And simply just taking 2 deep breaths wherever you are in this pose. Then keeping the right hand, right knee where they are, bring the left hand to your left hip. Then moving into your half side plank, step the left foot to the back of your mat, opening both hips towards the left. Maybe extending that left arm up and overhead once more, and holding here. And exhale, go ahead and release, bringing both hands, both knees back to the mat. And then choosing if you would like to keep the knees down or lift the knees up into your plank pose. And on an inhale, shift the shoulders past the wrists. Exhale, keeping the elbows hugged in, slow and controlled, lower down to your stomachs. And keeping the hands underneath the shoulders this time. If you know that you have a sensitive lower back, go ahead and take 3 baby cobras like we did at the beginning of class. Or if you would like a little bit more intensity, you can keep the hands on the mat this time, pressing down into the fingertips, and inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower down. So 2 more cobras of your choice. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. 1 more. Inhale up, really shining that chest forward. Exhale, ground yourself right back down. Then as you're ready, inhale, press yourself up into all fours. And exhale, lift the hips up and back, finding a downward facing dog. Last dog of class. This time, inhale, shift your gaze forward and step the feet to the top of your mat, finding a forward fold, grabbing onto opposite elbows, bending generously into the knees, and just allowing the upper body to hang heavy here as the lower body supports you. Letting all of the tension in the neck just roll off your shoulders here. There's no need to hold on to it. On your next inhale, slowly roll all the way up to standing, placing the hands by your side in mountain pose. Taking 1 deep belly breath here to ground yourself down. Then moving through 1 final standing sequence on both sides before moving into our yummy yin poses. Shifting all of your weight onto the left foot. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead and draw the right knee in towards the chest. Finding stability here on this left foot. Then as you feel ready, begin to hinge at the hips, lowering the torso down to parallel with your mat, extending the right leg back behind you, also parallel to your mat, coming into Warrior 3 pose. Really engaging out through fingertip to toe tip, holding yourself here for 3, 2, and 1. Then inhale, bring the arms back up and overhead, knee comes back into the chest, keeping your balance on that left foot. Bring the right foot into tree pose. So bring the right sole of foot either on the left calf or on the left inner thigh. You may need to use a hand to assist yourself here, but try your best to maintain your balance as you transition between these 2 poses. Once you find the tree pose variation in the legs that you would like to hold, you can take any variation with the hands. So either keeping them on your hips, extending them by your sides, bringing hands to heart center, or reaching them up and overhead. Again, holding this pose for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release everything, coming into a forward fold. Again, taking a few moments here to grab onto the elbows and sway from side to side. On an inhale, press down through the feet, bend into the knees, and roll up to standing, head and shoulders being the last things to come up. And resting the hands by your sides in mountain pose. Again, taking a second to ground down here, taking a deep breath. And on your next inhale, shift your weight into the right foot. Inhale, reach both arms up and overhead and draw the left knee in towards the chest this time. Finding your balance on that right foot. Then as you're ready, begin to hinge at the hips, extending the arms forward, left leg back, finding your Warrior 3. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bring the arms back up and overhead. Bring that left knee back into the chest, and then move into tree pose. So left sole of foot comes to either the inside of the right calf or the inside of the right thigh. Maybe using the left hand to assist you here, but trying to keep your balance as best you can. Challenging yourself here. Finding whatever tree feels best in your body today. And holding for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release everything, forward fold. On your next inhale, bring the hands to the shins, flat back, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. And exhale, forward fold, placing both hands on the mat, stepping both knees back onto your mat, taking both knees wide, big toes to touch, and sending the hips back towards the heels as you lower the forehead down in between the arms, either keeping the arms extended out long or to release some of the tension in the shoulders as we will be holding this pose for a few breaths. You can try bending into the elbows and making kind of a diamond shape with the arms around your head, and just letting the traps and shoulders relax. Moving into our yin portion of class for the last 10 minutes or so, just reconnecting into your breath, taking notice of how the body is feeling after our movement practice, and settling in to find some stillness. Maybe closing down the eyes in this child's pose, and just simply connecting to your breath. With every inhale, feel the belly expanding between the thighs. And with every exhale, pull that belly button back in towards the spine, squeezing all of that air right back out. As we rest here in these yin poses, try and imagine your breath being sent to the area of the body that you feel sensation. So with yin yoga, we're really working into the fascia of the body, not so much the muscles. So once you find the pose that's comfortable, go ahead and hold. Try your best to hold in stillness and just breathe in to wherever you feel the most sensation. Taking 3 more breaths in your child's pose. On your next inhale, gently begin to lift the forehead up, moving slowly through these transitions. And gently shift both feet off to one side and lower yourself down into a seat, bringing both legs out in front of you. Bring the soles of feet to touch and allow the knees to open to either side. You can rest the heels however close or far away from the hips as is comfortable in your body. But really just try to find some length in the spine. So grabbing onto the ankles, inhale, lifting the chest high, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. And keeping this length in the spine, exhale, find a forward fold in your butterfly. So either keeping a hold of the ankles and pulling yourself down, or you can interlace the fingers in front of the toes, bring the elbows in front of your shins, or you can tuck your forearms underneath your shins, helping pull you down even more. So wherever you end up, try to make this as passive as possible. So if you feel like putting the forearms underneath your shins is causing too much tension in the lower back, go ahead and take it back a notch, come back up, and just find the variation of this pose that is comfortable and restful so that you can take a few deep breaths. On your next inhale, wherever you are, gently begin to press the hands down and lift yourself back up, moving slowly here. And bring the hands to the backs of the thighs and close the legs like a book. Moving into a deer pose. So this is one of my favorite hip stretches, but I don't see it taught very often. So if you've never seen this pose before, go ahead and watch me first before getting into it yourself. Bring the right shin parallel to the top of your mat, making sure that the right thigh bone is coming directly out of the hip and that the ankle is aligned with the knee. So really focusing on joint alignment here, trying to find comfortability. Then take that left leg and bring it behind you so that the left shin is parallel to the left side of your mat. Again, left ankle aligned with the knee and knee aligned with the hip so that the thigh bone comes directly out from your hip. Then once you feel comfortable here, you can place the hands behind you and gently begin to lean back. You'll feel the sensation through the front of the left hip here. And if you don't feel anything, you can try lowering the forearms down to the mat instead of staying up on your palms. However, that is a little too intense for me, so I'm gonna stay up here. Simply breathing into the sensations that you feel. Maybe closing down the eyes to keep yourself present in this pose. And breathing into wherever you feel it the most. If you had lowered down onto the forearms, gently begin to press yourself back up, walking the hands back in, and gently lift the left knee up and bring the left leg back around in front as we switch sides. So now that left shin is going to come to parallel to the top of the mat. Left hip is aligned with the left knee, and the knee is aligned with the ankle. And then bring that right leg back behind you, keeping the right shin parallel to the right side of your mat. Right thigh bone comes directly out of the hip, this time stretching through the front of the right hip and placing the hands behind you, maybe deepening the stretch by lowering down onto your forearms. But you want to focus on keeping both knees grounded. So if lowering down to the forearms peels this right knee up, go ahead and lift back up onto your palms. Really just focusing on keeping the joints aligned and your mind present. If you had lowered down onto the forearms, go ahead and lift back up, moving slowly here, walking the hands back in, and then gently lifting the right knee back up, bringing the right leg back around through center. And as you're ready, you can hug the knees in towards your chest and gently roll down onto your back. Moving through some reclined spinal twists on both sides before moving to our Shavasana. So inhale, reach both arms up and overhead, and interlace the fingers and tuck the hands behind the base of your head. So trying to keep the shoulders and the elbows pressing down into the mat beneath you. Keeping the knees bent, place the soles of the feet down on the floor. And keeping the upper body as it is, gently just allow both knees to fall towards the right. Finding a gentle spinal twist and breathing in to wherever you feel this most along the spine. On an inhale, keeping the arms just as they are, simply bring the knees back through center, then allow them to drift off to the left. Keeping your mind present, not allowing this transition to let your mind run wild, but trying to keep yourself settled here on your mat in our final pose before Shavasana. As you inhale, gently bring the knees back through center. You can release the hands down by your sides and extend the legs out long. Getting any little wiggles or adjustments out of the body that you may need to in order to find stillness one last time. Both stillness in the body and your muscles, as well as stillness in your mind. Allowing yourself these last few moments of your practice today just for yourself, you and your breath, to relax and rest into your Shavasana. Gently begin to bring some energy back to your fingertips and to your toe tips. Maybe rotating through the wrists and the ankles. And on an inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, finding one final full body stretch. Maybe taking a moment to do a full body scan from toe tip to fingertip. Just noticing every sensation in the body and noticing how your body feels after taking some time for yourself today. And gently begin to bend into the knees and roll over onto your favorite side. Taking one final moment of stillness here to thank yourself for showing up for yourself today on your mat. And as you're ready, gently press into the hand and lift yourself back up into your seat. Whatever's most comfortable on your body, keeping the eyes closed and either placing the hands on the knees or bringing the hands through heart center. And taking 3 final grounding breaths as a class, in through the nose and out, sighing through the mouth. In 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Gently tuck the chin in towards the chest as you blink the eyes back open and come back to the room around you. I thank you all for choosing to practice with me today. I hope you enjoyed this practice, and leave a comment down below what other types of flows would you like to see. Whether it's a peak pose that you're working towards or some muscle group that you would like to focus on, let me know. I'm here to help you. Also, like I said at the beginning of class, these Yinyasa style classes will also be available over on my website as 1-hour-long group Zoom live classes. And I have those every Friday and Saturday. However, if there's a different time that you want, let me know. Again, I'm here for you, not for myself, so let me know what works best for you. And if you go to my website and input your email in the little pop-up box, I will email you a discount code for a free group class so that you can try your first one for free, because who doesn't like free? I mean, come on. I thank you all for being here with me today, and I hope to see you again in class very soon, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, guys. I don't wanna know